Now, breaking news from Carol Evans.
We are following that breaking news where Minnehaha Academy, a portion of the building has collapsed. You can see smoke rising from a portion of the building. MPD now confirming to us that one person has died. All the streets around this area are blocked. It was even tough for our crew to get here to the staging center.
Reporter Adrian Brodus from our affiliate KARE 11 on the scene.
Here in Chanhassen, Minnesota, the crowd continues to grow outside of Paisley Park. There are dozens of bouquets that well-wishers have left behind. High water obviously still causing problems for folks in this neighborhood. I'm standing on what was once called the shelter house. I didn't really cut my hair. My natural hair in all her glory is just underneath here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Olympic Zone. I'm Adrian Brodus. In case you didn't know, today is Valentine's Day, and that means couples across the U.S. are scrambling. It was a dramatic finish for Olympic snowboarder Shaun White in the men's half pipe. Last night, it all came down to one final run. Hey, Snoop. It's Adrian Brodus from CARE TV, but I'm Brodus with 2 Ds. You got to come talk to your cuz, Snoop. I'm Kim Folk, Adrian Brodus, double D. I always tell folks you're the cousin with the 1 D.
Hey, double D, 1 D, it's all good. We all family.
This time of year, the rotunda of the Mall of America plays host to parents capturing the spirit of Christmas.
12 and 37 are 2 East, right by Orange Julius.
And it's normal to see extra police during the holiday season, but this was different.
Black Lives Matter!
Instead of a picture with a Christmas tree and Santa,
Amani and Amana.
that mother opted for a photo with her children in front of a sign bearing a strong message.
Stop racist killer cops. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. I guess we're staging a die-in.
That's the voice of Georgetta Wu, a pre-med student who wants to end police brutality.
And we're still making a difference because people have to watch us if they're shopping. I'm not afraid of being arrested.
Wu was among the thousands of protesters at the Mall of America. 80 stores closed, but Games by James stayed open.
Today we kind of have to treat it like a snow day because of the lack of customers.
I don't really care what you have to say.
Outside, shoppers who came to shop but couldn't.
They can peacefully protest without disrupting everybody else's lives.
Back inside, demonstrators hope their efforts now will bring the gift of equality. Adrian Brodus, CARE 11 News. Good evening to you, Julie, and to those of you watching and listening at CARE 11 News, we begin our day with a morning editorial meeting. And in our meeting this morning, we challenged ourselves to have some difficult conversations.
And then I remember this mural just a few blocks from the 4th Precinct, the handshake with the words peace and harmony, and we thought this would be a good place for this conversation to begin. The 4th Precinct has been a temporary home for many races.
Oh, I became racist, if you will, against half of me, a third of me actually, because I'm triracial. I'm black, white, and I'm Native American.
Divided by separate truths.
Having black friends, like my parents didn't understand.
Let's pause for a moment. As a journalist, I cover every story with the same approach. But part of the pain is when I see how far apart people are because of their implicit bias. I know I stand on the shoulders of many as a journalist, but another piece of that pain is knowing I can't solve the problem of this hurting community behind me. Indeed, I have my own implicit bias, but I'm open to other perspectives.
But the reality is you cannot ignore your own lens, the experiences that shaped you. And this is where I grew up, in suburban Plymouth, a great community, but not an extremely diverse one when I was growing up. And Adrian, I was sharing that with you earlier, that I realized I had not stepped foot in North Minneapolis until I was a journalist covering those racial inequities. I was shielded from all that, and it was a really hard realization.
You know, that's not only your truth, but the truth for some others who watch and listen to our broadcast. It's our privilege as journalists to be able to enter these communities and share stories across the board. But the question now is, how do we help others understand?
The solutions to all of the problems and all of the ills that affect American society. You know where they are?
In a book?
They're on the shelves. Absolutely right. They're on the stacks.
This is Keith Mays.
Born and raised in Harlem.
Associate Professor of African American and African Studies at the U of M.
He's diagnosed our society with historical amnesia.
So things have changed, but things have not changed. Whites don't have to really interact with African Americans or people of color at all, because if they can work downtown, you may see some on the streets, you may see a whole lot of folk of color on Nicollet Mall, but then you go back home. Where is home? Home could be Minneapolis, but also home is the suburbs. So you are not forced to really deal with the issues. You can be indifferent. The danger of indifference is ignorance.
So are you saying if we don't change the hearts of people, there's really nothing we can do?
You have to not only change hearts, but you have to change minds.
That's why Mays focuses on empathy as light in the darkness.
But stresses racial fault lines don't run just through North Minneapolis.
They run deep within all of us.
We're all the same person, like God made us equally, and we all bleed the same color blood.
And with our non-traditional story, we only scratched the surface today. And Lindsay was saying earlier, and we talked about this, it's sort of a reporter's notebook, some of the conversations we've had with people that don't make air, but those folks were very brave going on camera, sharing their truths with us.
And you can't really boil these issues down to 90 seconds or 2 minutes, but we thought this was a place for the conversation to begin. We took some risks not only with the public today, but with one another, sitting around our newsroom and talking about how can we bring perspective. So maybe it's something to discuss at Thanksgiving or at your workplace, but we just hope that the conversation doesn't end here. So thank you, Adrienne.
Well, thank you.
Okay to use either arm for blood pressure?
Throughout life, we all wait for someone or something.
Sometimes it's rather quick, sometimes it's not quite so quick. So
Tom Meeks is waiting
All right, poke.
for an update on the condition of his new heart.
And I'm just excited to feel it beat again.
Casey Heisler waits to hear the rhythm of that heart again. It was a Sunday. The phone call came at 4 a.m.
Do you have the right guy? Like, are you sure it's Matt?
Her brother Matt was a student at the University of North Dakota. In March, a house fire ended his life. Matt was 21.
He was very tender. From a little boy, he was always he had a huge heart.
Good to see you.
say, see you, Doc.
And Tom, he now lives with that same heart.
You look awesome.
I'm telling you, I feel awesome.
When you get your license, you check that box, and you think it's just a small thing.
At 16, Matt signed up to be an organ donor.
There was no alternative for me except a transplant.
Because of Tom's age and other health concerns, 5 different hospitals refused to consider him for a heart transplant. But the Mayo Clinic gave Tom a lifeline, putting him on a waiting list for a new heart.
I am tickled that I am doing as well as I am.
That's Tom, 2 days after he received that lifeline, thanks to Matt.
Proud of Matt. Really proud of Matt.
The heart that I grew up with and felt in all of my hugs when I hugged him, that it's still out there somewhere.
The day is finally here. Long awaited, by the way. Long awaited.
Pretty excited about this.
Obviously, in my case, they're always going to carry a very, very warm spot in my heart.
8 months after Matt died, Matthew's dad, Jared, his mom, Cheryl, and younger sister, Casey, embraced the heart they love.
Wow.
Hi. You must be Casey.
Cheryl.
The waiting
Nice to meet you.
is finally over.
One more, Jared.
Hey,
oh man. I woke up this morning and told
so nice to meet you.
Matt that Mom and Dad's coming today.
This is his graduation picture.
Both families shared memories.
Is this you?
And created new ones.
Add friend.
Because of Matt,
Oh, what a good picture.
Tom gets more time with his wife, Ann, and their 4 grandchildren.
Would you like to listen to your brother's heart?
And the Heislers get to hear from Matt again. A sister who only wanted to feel her brother's heart now gets to hear it.
We're all gonna listen. Do I do it this way?
Matt didn't just donate his heart. His generosity helped 60 people. A 46-year-old woman received one of Matt's kidneys. The other went to a 56-year-old woman. The life of a 61-year-old man was saved by Matt's gift of a liver.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Oh, believe me, it's my pleasure.
Last one, Tom.
All right.
Comfort found in a moment, well worth the wait.
It's awesome.